Hey, warrior. Every morning you wake up to a choice that will determine the next 24 hours of your life. Most people don't even realize they're making it. They roll out of bed, grab their phone, and let the world dictate how they feel. By noon, they're drained, reactive, and wondering where the day went. But there's a secret, a practice that separates those who thrive from those who merely survive. And it happens in the first few minutes after you open your eyes. The ancient Roman emperor Marcus Aurelius understood this. He wrote in his personal journal, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." But instead of feeling defeated, he used this awareness to prepare his mind for strength, not surrender. Right now, in these precious morning moments, your brain is most moldable. Neuroscience confirms that the first thoughts you think literally rewire your neural pathways, setting up automatic responses for the entire day. Yet most people waste this golden window scrolling through social media, absorbing other people's problems, or diving straight into stress. The Stoics discovered something revolutionary. You can program your mind for success, peace, and unshakable confidence by speaking specific truths to yourself each morning. Not wishful thinking, not fantasy affirmations, reality-based declarations that align your mind with how the world actually works. What if you could wake up tomorrow and feel genuinely excited about the day ahead, regardless of what challenges await? What if you could face criticism, setbacks, and uncertainty with a kind of calm confidence that makes people wonder what you know that they don't? The ancient Greeks had a word for this: ataraxia, unshakable tranquility. The state of being completely at peace with yourself and your place in the world, no matter what storms rage around you. This isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, one morning at a time. Over the next hour, you're going to learn the exact words that have helped warriors win battles, leaders build empires, and ordinary people transform into extraordinary versions of themselves. Each phrase targets a specific weakness that keeps people stuck: fear, comparison, lack of focus, emotional reactivity, procrastination. These principles have been battle-tested for over 2,000 years. They worked in ancient Rome. They worked during world wars. They'll work in your life today. The only question is whether you'll have the discipline to use them. Before we begin, I need you to do something. Hit that like button to show me you're ready to take control of your mornings. Drop a comment and tell me what your biggest morning struggle is. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because we're building an army of people who refuse to let life happen to them. And whatever you do, don't skip any part of this video. Each piece builds on the last. If this resonates, share it in the comments to keep it close to your heart. I control my morning. I control my day. Number 1, I am responsible for how today feels. The moment you accept complete responsibility for your emotional state, everything changes. This isn't about blaming yourself for bad things that happen. It's about claiming your power to choose how you respond to whatever life throws at you. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, discovered this truth in the most horrific circumstances imaginable. He wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." If someone could maintain emotional control in a concentration camp, you can maintain it in your daily life. Most people live as emotional victims. Their mood depends on traffic, weather, other people's behavior, or their bank account. They wake up and immediately check their phone, letting notifications determine whether they'll feel good or bad. This is emotional slavery, and it's the reason most people feel powerless in their own lives. When you tell yourself, "I am responsible for how today feels," you're making a declaration of independence. You're saying that your happiness, peace, and confidence aren't for sale to the highest bidder. You're claiming ownership of the one thing no one can ever take from you: your response to what happens. This doesn't mean you'll never feel disappointed, frustrated, or sad. It means you recognize these feelings as temporary visitors, not permanent residents. You understand that while you can't control what happens to you, you have complete control over what happens in you. Epictetus taught that we suffer not from events themselves, but from our judgments about events. Change the judgment, change the suffering. This morning affirmation rewires your brain to stop looking outward for emotional stability and start looking inward for emotional strength. Start each day by placing your hand on your heart and saying these words with conviction. I am responsible for how today feels. My emotions are my choice. My peace is my decision. Today I choose strength over weakness, clarity over confusion, and hope over fear. Watch what happens when you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the author of your emotional experience. You'll discover a kind of freedom that most people never even know exists. Number 2, nothing can disturb my peace without my permission. Your peace of mind is like a fortress, and you are the gatekeeper. Every morning, you must decide who and what gets permission to enter your mental space. Most people leave their gates wide open, letting every criticism, worry, and negative thought march right in and set up camp. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He understood that true power isn't controlling what happens around you, it's controlling what happens within you. When you declare, "Nothing can disturb my peace without my permission," you're establishing boundaries around your inner world. You're saying that your tranquility isn't a public playground where anyone can come and create chaos. You become the security guard of your own mind. This doesn't mean you become emotionless or disconnected. It means you develop what the Stoics call the discipline of desire, the ability to remain centered regardless of external turbulence. You can acknowledge that someone said something hurtful without letting it define your day. You can recognize a setback without letting it destroy your confidence. The secret is in the pause, the space between what happens to you and your reaction to it. There's a sacred moment where you get to choose. Most people react so fast they don't even know this space exists. But when you train yourself to find this pause, you discover your superpower. Every morning, stand in front of the mirror and speak directly to yourself. Nothing can disturb my peace without my permission. I am the guardian of my inner world. Today I choose who and what gets access to my mind. My peace is not for sale, not for rent, and not up for negotiation. Watch how differently you move through the world when you realize that your peace is entirely in your hands. You become unshakable, not because nothing bad happens, but because you've learned to protect what matters most. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I am the guardian of my own peace. Number 3, today I focus only on what I can control. The fastest way to drive yourself insane is trying to control things that are completely outside your power. Yet every day, millions of people waste enormous amounts of mental energy worrying about other people's opinions, the weather, the economy, politics, and 1,000 other things they can't influence. Epictetus taught the fundamental Stoic principle. Some things are within our power, while others are not. He divided all of existence into 2 categories: what you can control and what you can't. Master this distinction and you master your life. What can you actually control? Your effort, your attitude, your words, your actions, your reactions, your decisions. That's it. Everything else, other people's behavior, the past, the future, natural disasters, market crashes, your boss's mood, is completely outside your influence. Most people have this backwards. They spend 80% of their mental energy trying to control the uncontrollable, while neglecting the things they can actually influence. They worry about what might happen next month while ignoring what they can do today. They stress about what someone might think while not focusing on who they want to become. When you wake up and declare, "Today I focus only on what I can control," you're making a strategic decision to invest your limited mental resources where they can actually make a difference. You're choosing effectiveness over anxiety, action over worry, influence over helplessness. The Stoics used a powerful exercise called the circle of control. Imagine everything in your life as existing in 3 circles: things you control completely, things you influence partially, and things you can't control at all. Your job is to put 90% of your attention on the first circle, 10% on the second, and 0 on the third. This morning practice transforms everything. Instead of waking up overwhelmed by all the things going wrong in the world, You wake up energized by all the things you can make right in your sphere of influence. Instead of feeling powerless, you feel focused. Instead of scattered anxiety, you experience laser-like clarity. Stand up, look yourself in the eye, and say with conviction, "Today I focus only on what I can control. I will not waste energy on things outside my power. My attention goes to my actions, my effort, and my responses. This is where my power lives." Number 4. My worth is not measured by today's outcomes. Your value as a human being has absolutely nothing to do with whether you get the promotion, win the argument, or have a perfect day. Yet most people tie their self-worth to their daily performance like a roller coaster that never stops. High when things go well, crashing when they don't. Seneca, advisor to emperors and one of Rome's wealthiest men, learned this lesson the hard way. When he was exiled by Emperor Caligula and later forced to commit suicide by Nero, he discovered that external achievements are temporary, but inner worth is eternal. He wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Your worth transcends any single outcome." Society programs us to measure ourselves by our productivity, our bank account, our relationship status, or our achievements. We wake up thinking we need to prove our worth through what we accomplish before bedtime. This is exhausting and ultimately destructive because it makes your self-esteem dependent on things that are partially or completely outside your control. When you tell yourself, "My worth is not measured by today's outcomes," you're breaking free from the performance trap. You're declaring that your value is inherent, not earned. You existed before today's challenges, and you'll exist after today's victories or defeats. Your essence isn't up for negotiation based on temporary circumstances. This doesn't mean you stop trying or caring about results. It means you separate your effort from your identity. You can pursue excellence without tying your self-respect to whether you achieve it. You can be disappointed by poor outcomes without being devastated by them. You can celebrate successes without depending on them for your sense of value. The Stoics understood that true confidence comes from knowing who you are at your core, regardless of what happens on the surface. They call this preferred indifference. Outcomes you'd prefer, but that don't define your worth. Getting the job is preferred, but not getting it doesn't make you less valuable. Every morning, remind yourself of this liberating truth. My worth is not measured by today's outcomes. I am valuable because I exist, not because of what I achieve. Today I will give my best effort while knowing that my value is not on trial. Success or failure, I remain worthy of love, respect, and dignity. Number 5, I will act, not just intend. The gap between good intentions and actual action is where most dreams go to die. Every morning, millions of people wake up with beautiful plans. They'll start that business, call that friend, begin that workout routine, write that book. But by evening, they've done nothing but think about doing something. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself, "In the morning, when thou risest unwillingly, let this thought be present. I am rising to the work of a human being." He knew that intentions without action are just sophisticated forms of procrastination. The difference between successful people and everyone else isn't talent, luck, or circumstances. It's the ability to close the gap between thinking and doing. While most people are perfecting their plans, successful people are perfecting their execution. While most people are waiting for the right moment, successful people are creating the right moment through action. When you declare, "I will act, not just intend," you're making a commitment to become a person of action rather than a person of endless preparation. You're choosing to be someone who does things imperfectly rather than someone who plans things perfectly but never starts. Stoicism is built on a simple premise. Virtue is action. It's not enough to know what's right. You must do what's right. It's not enough to understand wisdom. You must live wisdom. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. This morning declaration creates what psychologists call implementation intention, a specific plan that connects your goals to your behavior. Instead of saying, "I want to exercise," you say, "I will act on my health goals." Instead of "I should call my parents," you say, "I will act on my commitment to family." The moment you shift from intending to acting, everything changes. You stop being a spectator in your own life and become the main character. You stop waiting for permission and start creating opportunities. You stop hoping things will get better and start making things better. Stand up right now and make this commitment. I will act, not just intend. Today I choose action over analysis, progress over perfection, and doing over dreaming. My intentions mean nothing without my actions. Today I act. Number 6, every challenge is a chance to grow stronger. The same fire that melts butter hardens steel. Every morning you get to decide which one you'll be when life turns up the heat. Most people see obstacles as punishments, but the wise see them as the gymnasium where character is built and strength is forged. James Stockdale, a U.S. Navy admiral who survived 7 years of torture as a prisoner of war in Vietnam, credited his survival to Stoic philosophy. He said, "You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality." He understood that challenges don't break you. They reveal what you're made of and give you the opportunity to become stronger. Right now, you're facing something difficult. Maybe it's financial pressure, relationship problems, health issues, career uncertainty. Your natural instinct might be to wish these problems away, to curse your bad luck, or to feel sorry for yourself. But what if these challenges aren't happening to you? What if they're happening for you? The Stoics had a revolutionary perspective on adversity. They saw difficulties as training exercises designed by fate to develop their character. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Every obstacle contains within it the seeds of opportunity if you have the eyes to see it. When you tell yourself every challenge is a chance to grow stronger, you're completely reframing your relationship with difficulty. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being a student of life. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" This doesn't mean you should enjoy suffering or seek out problems. It means you recognize that struggle is the price of growth, and growth is the price of a meaningful life. A muscle only gets stronger when it faces resistance. A character only develops when it faces challenges. Every morning, prepare your mind for whatever the day might bring. Every challenge is a chance to grow stronger. I welcome difficulties as opportunities to develop my character. Today's obstacles are tomorrow's strengths. I do not pray for an easier life. I pray to become a stronger person. Number 7, I will not compare my journey to anyone else's. Comparison is the thief of joy, but it's also the destroyer of progress, confidence, and authentic success. Every morning, millions of people wake up and immediately start measuring their lives against highlight reels they see on social media, forgetting that they're comparing their behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's carefully curated performance. Epictetus taught how much trouble he avoids who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does, but only to what he does himself. He knew that your only meaningful competition is the person you were yesterday. Social media has turned comparison into a 24/7 addiction. You see someone's vacation photos, and suddenly your life feels boring. You see someone's promotion announcement, and suddenly your career feels stagnant. You see someone's relationship posts, and suddenly your love life feels inadequate. But here's what you don't see: their struggles, their fears, their failures, their private moments of doubt. When you declare, "I will not compare my journey to anyone else's," you're choosing to run your own race at your own pace toward your own finish line. You're refusing to let other people's timelines dictate your self-worth. You're acknowledging that everyone has different starting points, different resources, different challenges, and different definitions of success. Your journey is unique because you are unique. Your background, your strengths, your struggles, your dreams, and your circumstances are yours alone. Trying to live someone else's path is like trying to wear someone else's shoes. It might look good from the outside, but it will never fit properly and will eventually cause you pain. The most successful and fulfilled people have learned to define success for themselves. They've stopped trying to impress people they don't even like with achievements that don't even matter to them. They've learned to celebrate others without diminishing themselves and to appreciate their own progress without needing external validation. This morning, make a commitment to authentic living. I will not compare my journey to anyone else's, My path is unique, my timing is perfect, and my progress is meaningful. Today I celebrate others' successes without questioning my own worth. I am exactly where I need to be on my unique journey. Number 8. I choose discipline over motivation. Motivation is like the weather, unpredictable, temporary, and completely outside your control. Some days you wake up feeling like you can conquer the world. Other days you can barely conquer getting out of bed. If you wait for motivation to strike, you'll spend most of your life waiting. But discipline? Discipline is like breathing. It works whether you feel like it or not. The Roman general and Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus taught that we should train ourselves to do what's necessary regardless of how we feel. He believed that relying on motivation is a form of weakness because it makes your actions dependent on fleeting emotions. When you choose discipline over motivation, you're making a powerful shift. You're no longer asking, do I feel like doing this? You're asking, what needs to be done? The first question leads to inconsistency and procrastination. The second leads to reliability and results. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up and ask, do I feel motivated to brush my teeth today? You just do it because it's part of your identity. It's non-negotiable. That's discipline. Your goals deserve the same treatment. Your health, your work, your relationships. The things that matter most shouldn't depend on how you feel on any given day. The Stoics called this the discipline of action, doing what's right simply because it's right, not because it feels good or because you're in the mood. Every morning commit to this truth. I choose discipline over motivation. I will not wait to feel like it. I will do what needs to be done regardless of my feelings. My actions are not ruled by my moods. I am the master of my choices, not the slave of my emotions. Number 9, I will speak to myself with kindness. Listen to the voice inside your head, the one that comments on everything you do, the one that reacts when you make a mistake or fall short. Is that voice kind? Or is it harsh, critical, and unforgiving? Most people talk to themselves in ways they would never tolerate from anyone else. They call themselves stupid for small errors. They berate themselves for not being perfect. They replay failures on a loop, adding fresh criticism each time. The Stoics understood that the way you speak to yourself shapes your entire reality. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If your thoughts about yourself are harsh and cruel, your soul takes on those colors. When you tell yourself, "I will speak to myself with kindness," you're breaking a cycle of self-inflicted suffering. You're choosing to be your own ally instead of your own enemy. This isn't about making excuses or avoiding responsibility. It's about recognizing that harshness doesn't help. Criticism doesn't motivate. Shame doesn't inspire growth. They just create more suffering and keep you stuck. The most successful and resilient people have learned to be their own best friend. They acknowledge mistakes without identifying with them. They learn from failures without letting them define their worth. They offer themselves the same compassion they'd offer someone they love. Every morning, make this promise to yourself. I will speak to myself with kindness. I will be my own ally, not my own enemy. When I make mistakes, I will learn without condemning. When I struggle, I will support without judging. I deserve the same compassion I give to others. Number 10. I am enough right now, as I am. This might be the most important truth of all. For years, you've probably believed that you'll be enough when you lose the weight, when you get the promotion, when you find the relationship, when you fix all your flaws. But here's the problem. There's always another when. You achieve one goal and suddenly there's another waiting. You fix one flaw and discover 3 more. The when never ends, which means if your sense of enoughness depends on achieving something, you'll never truly feel enough. The Stoics taught a different way. They believed that your worth is inherent, not conditional. It doesn't increase with success or decrease with failure. It just is. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that external things don't define a person's value. He wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." When you declare, "I am enough right now, as I am," you're not saying you're perfect or that you have nothing to improve. You're saying that your worth isn't on the line. You're saying that you can pursue growth from a place of wholeness rather than a place of lack. This shift changes everything. When you act from "I am enough," you're no longer desperate. You're no longer performing for approval. You're no longer trying to prove your value. You're simply expressing who you are, and that expression is powerful. People who know they're enough don't need constant validation. They can handle criticism without collapsing. They can fail without feeling like failures. They can celebrate others without feeling diminished. This is freedom, real freedom. Every morning, look yourself in the mirror and say these words: I am enough right now as I am. Not when I fix everything. Not when I achieve more. Right now. My worth is not conditional. My value is not for sale. I am whole, complete, and worthy of love exactly as I am. So here we are, 10 powerful things to tell yourself every morning. Not fantasies, not wishful thinking. Reality-based declarations that align your mind with how the world actually works. When you wake up tomorrow, you have a choice. You can let the world dictate your mood, your focus, and your peace. Or you can take control. You can speak these truths to yourself and step into the day as the architect of your own experience. Number 1, I am responsible for how today feels. Number 2, nothing can disturb my peace without my permission. Number 3, today I focus only on what I can control. Number 4, my worth is not measured by today's outcomes. Number 5, I will act, not just intend. Number 6, every challenge is a chance to grow stronger. Number 7, I will not compare my journey to anyone else's. Number 8, I choose discipline over motivation. Number 9, I will speak to myself with kindness. Number 10, I am enough right now as I am. These aren't just words, they're weapons. Weapons against anxiety, against fear, against the voices that tell you you're not enough. Use them every morning. Let them rewire your mind. Let them build the kind of unshakable confidence that nothing in this world can touch. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button. Not for me, as a commitment to yourself. Drop a comment and tell me which of these 10 hit you hardest. I read them. I'm with you. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe, because this journey continues, and growth is always stronger together than alone. I control my morning. I control my day.